A man convicted of murdering this man, 19-year-old David Peet, could get out of prison soon.
Peet was executed in 2000, shot in the head 4 times after giving Michael Price and David McGee a ride. Now McGee is up for parole, and the Hamilton County prosecutor is asking you to help keep him in prison. We do warn you, the details of the crime might be difficult to hear.
It was a senseless, unconscionable murder that didn't need to happen.
On August 14th of 2000, David Peet left his friends at a bar to spend time with his mom, who was home alone. First, he stopped at a Taco Bell in Finneytown. That's where Michael Price and David McGee begged him for a ride.
He didn't realize he was being targeted to be robbed. He didn't realize he was being targeted to be murdered.
These two were committed to doing this, to target someone, to eventually kill them.
Greg Ventry was the Cincinnati police detective on the case. He says this is one case that never leaves him.
This was cold. This is cold-blooded murder.
Once in Pete's car, his killers pulled a gun.
They stopped the car, put him in order him into the trunk of the car. They drove to a secluded area off of Spring Grove Avenue and executed him. He was begging for his life when they ordered him to kneel, and they executed him. Shot him 4 times in the head and left him.
This photo is what we drove up on. They could have taken everything he had and drove off and left him there. They didn't have to execute him.
Instead, they took Pete's car, stripped and torched it. David McGee was just 17 when he murdered David Peet. Even though he was tried as an adult, because of his age, he couldn't get a straight life sentence. When McGee was sentenced in 2001, we were there, and one of Pete's sisters addressed him.
I wonder why you murdered my big brother. Why, McGee? Why did you murder my big brother? There are so many things and feelings I want to express, but words will never say what I hold inside of me. I want to scream, cry, and yell. I want my big brother. I love him.
McGee took a plea deal that gave him 18 years to life. His chance of being paroled now comes every 5 years. His family is now afraid to talk on camera. Instead, they gave me these photos showing them celebrating David Peet's life. They tell me they're terrified that McGee will get out of prison and hurt them or someone else.
No one like that should be out in our community, ever. They belong behind bars. They will repeat. They will reoffend.
Isn't the argument that, well, he's done his time?
Well, his time was life in prison. He hasn't done his time.
David McGee would be 40 years old if he is released. He's slated to meet with the parole board in the coming days. I want you to know I reached out to his former attorney and the prison where he's housed, as well as all kinds of other places, to try to talk to David McGee. We had no luck. The Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office is asking you to go to its webpage where you can write a letter to the parole board asking that David McGee remain in prison. You can find a link to that page on our website, WCPO.com.